Hello YouTube, 87 Ricer here. Peace. I'm back at the 87 Ricer Lake. So just up the hill, as you're going either out of Hermann, headed south, or coming into Hermann, headed north, you'll see this lake. I am now dubbing this lake 87 Ricer Lake. So as you're going out of town, it'll be on your left, but when you're coming in, it'll be on the right. But yeah, 87 Ricer Lake, officially dubbed. So I'm back on the icebear rocket using my wife's bike since I sold Olaf, and I'm actually just kind of cruising around town, but I'm not filming anything because I don't want to get in trouble for having a phone in my hand while riding. You know what I'm saying? I've already seen the cop in town, and right now I'm just kind of hiding from him, but at the same time I'm not really worried about him anymore. He don't scare me, because I'm not doing anything wrong. But anyways, since I picked up this bike a couple years ago, give or take, 2,504 miles on icebear rocket. So anyways, let's just I'm just gonna ride around and chit chat your ear off. So let's get going. So like I said, this is now dubbed the 87 Ricer Lake. So as you come into Hermann and leave Hermann, you get to see this beautiful 87 Ricer Lake. And if you go across the 87 Ricer Bridge, coming into town or going out of town, you know, you get to cross the 87 Ricer Bridge, which goes over the Missouri River. This is a beautiful lake. This cove here, actually I wouldn't even call it a cove. This body of water, this 87 Ricer Lake, reminds me of what you would find in a cove at Lake of the Ozarks. It really does, because it's just as hilly. I mean, there's some steep hills. These roads are pretty steep, going down and coming up. So this lake reminds me of the lakes, coves that I find at Lake of the Ozark. That is a nice house right there. And they got a Mini Cooper. That's a nice house. Very nice house. So yeah, I'm just out cruising on the bike. I have to run the gas because this gas is from last year, whenever my wife decided not to ride it after I put some seafoam in it. We got part of the way into town and she said, nope, it's too cold, I'm gonna go back. Well, let's just say I changed the oil on the little red rocket, and little red rocket fired up. So I am very proud of this bike. I mean, it didn't take a whole lot to fire it up. It wanted to come to life. So it was easy. And I said, well, I'm gonna run some of the fuel out, because honestly, I haven't really been, well, I can't really say that. A couple weekends ago, today's March 22nd, 2024. A couple weekends ago, I went for a ride on my Honda Rebel bobber, and I put 93 miles on that. And within that time that I put 93 miles on it, it had a hesitation. It hesitated very split-second hesitation, but it never stalled out completely. And it did it like 4 times. And if you're familiar with the route that I'm about to tell you, I basically rode from Hermann to Owensville. I went from Owensville to Rosebud to Gerald, and then there's a couple of other towns between Gerald and Union, Missouri. I think it's Buford that's between the Union and Gerald. But the bike hesitated very quickly while I was riding out to Union, and then it hesitated on the road going from Union to Washington, and then it did it 2 more times, maybe 3 times. I think it was 2. Yeah, I want to say it was twice that it hesitated on my way from Washington, Missouri back to Hermann, Missouri. And so I've just decided to cut ties with that bike. I'm not going to try to figure it out. It's probably something very easy. I really believe it's just a carburetor clean or a wire. That squirrel would have gotten it run over if I'd have gone any faster. But anyways, I believe that the problem is either a wire or the carb, because I haven't cleaned the carb since I got it, and the wire harness was messed with. So I just decided to list it and try to wash my hands of it. I never should have picked it up to begin with, but I did. It was one of those moments where this bike is the Honda Rebel Bobber is honestly a really good bike when it's running fantastic. But those 4 moments where it hesitated, if I don't pinpoint it or figure something out, there's the highway up there where them guardrails are. If you look hard enough in the guardrail, that's the highway, major highway, or at least the road leading into town. But if I don't pinpoint that wire or if I don't clean the carb, it's just gonna get worse. I mean, it could. I mean, it has a very bad idle when it initially starts up, so it really it idles rough. But then once you start riding it, it clears up and it's fine. So the idea is I'm gonna sell the Rebel, and I'm going to try to shoot for a Honda Grom. I am really interested in the Honda Grom, the little 125cc pocket rocket, or not pocket rocket, mini bike. You know, I'm really interested in the Grom. I don't need a big bike for riding around in my hometown. And the last bike that I had, you know, I wasn't interested in, you know, I just wasn't interested in doing anything. So I sold all off because I needed to come up with some money to buy the truck that I purchased, my 99 GMC Sierra 3/4 ton 4x4 V8. I needed money to buy it, so I let Olaf go, and now that I you know, sold it, it's like, man, I really want to get a small bike again, but I want to go with the Honda Grom. So I'm looking at the Honda Grom, a bike that I can put into the bed of the truck and, you know, haul it down to the lake, or even ride it down to the lake come September. But I'm really trying to save up for just getting a Honda Grom. I've had so many Honda Rebels, it was a good time, but now I just kind of want to downsize to something a little bit smaller that I could just put a license plate on and rip around in town here without getting harassed by the cops about scooters, because that ordinance is an ordinance from 2000 about little Red Rocket here and other little scooters. And the new cops, I don't want to start anything with them. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Just sell the Honda Bobber and move on to a Honda Grom, downgrade, And I actually decided to do a really good deal on the Honda Rebel bobber. I listed it for $1,600 as is. You know, it's got like 7,300 something miles on it, and I'm actually throwing in the extra tank that I took off of a different Rebel. I'm throwing in an extra gas tank, crash bar, an extra seat, and I ended up purchasing a rear fender for the plastic one that I was going to cut to size and replace that metal fender on the back. And I just decided to throw all that stuff in together with the price of the bike. But got a few hits on the bike so far, and just nothing solidified yet. But it's been a good bike whenever I was riding it till it had shoot. But yeah, it as soon as it started the hesitation, I said, well, time to just let it go, move on, get a Honda Grom. I mean, I think $4,200 is definitely a little overpriced for a 125, but I mean, reliable, just a nice little bike that I can rip around in town on and put some miles down on, and it's got the clutch so I can shift it, and it's just a fun little bike. I mean, Olaf was a fun bike too, but my plans with that one got completely squashed, so I just gave up on that one. And it's not that I gave up on it, it's just I also found that I needed a truck, so I also needed the money. But as far as the cops, they squished my dream on that Olaf deal. So because I bought Olaf so me and my wife could ride her bike, and I could have the bike, I could have a bike, and we could ride together. Now I don't even know if she's gonna ride this one this summer. So if she's not gonna ride this one this summer, then I mean, I don't even really want to let it go because it's so good. I might just keep it as a backup bike that I could just throw into the bed of the truck come Bike Fest and use it as an emergency bike for Bike Fest, just to rip around on. So I mean, this one will stay here, but I just don't know if my wife's gonna ride it this year until we feel a little bit more confident about riding in town. But yeah, this is a beautiful lake out here. I really, really like this lake. I mean, it's a really big lake that you see coming in town and leaving town. It's very noticeable from the road. So, like I said, I dubbed this lake 87 Ricer Lake. It's 87 Ricer Lake. I'm gonna make another lap around, but then I'm gonna ride around some more streets, and chances are I'm probably gonna run into that cop, and he's probably gonna give me another warning. And you know, my stupid ass will probably lip off to him, and then he'll have a reason to cuff me or something, or maybe he'll just be a nice person and realize that I'm gonna ride bikes regardless of what he says. There is a white, I guess it's a poodle. Go home, pup, go home. Yeah, go home. Don't want the dog getting. Then again, that dog's probably come down here plenty of times thinking, what the hell are you telling me to do? I live here. I know what I'm doing, you worry about you. So yeah, I'm gonna ride back around town, and like I said, chances are I've seen that cop once already. I'll probably run into him again before I head on home. So it's hard telling how long I'll ride around town before they decide to pull me over in front of everybody, then make it seem like they're doing something good. You know, because that's honestly what'll happen. They'll pull me over right in the front of everybody because you know, they don't have anything better to do in this town, so it'll be one of those moments where they just they're like gonna embarrass me. You're like, yep, we're pulling this guy over, we're gonna let him know he can't ride that scooter in town, it's an ordinance. Fuck that. Really, fuck that. Anyways, I made this video a little bit too long. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I hope you all enjoyed this little drive around and kind of understand what I'm doing. And who knows, maybe something better than a Grom comes up in mind and I might go after that instead. But right now the Honda Grom is, I'm really trying to get the Honda Grom, so that's kind of my goal right now. But I'm 87 Ricer. Hope you liked the video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to my crazy ass videos, or subscribe to my crazy ass channel, and keep a watch. I mean, I tend to upload pretty regularly. So you all have a fantastic week. Today is Saturday, March 22nd, 2024. Love y'all. Peace. Bye.